Welcome to this week's episode of The Analysis with Gabby. Today we are going to be talking about the feminist point of view in the novel The Jade Peony by Weiss and Choi. For those of you that have not read the novel, it takes place in the late 1930s before World War II. The story is told through the perspective of three children, Liang, Zheng, and Seki. Their parents are Chinese immigrants, but they are being raised in Vancouver's Chinatown by their grandmother. There are often conflicts between the children and the grandma, who they call Popo, because of the cultural clash of past China and the current world. Old China Popo is only familiar with the society that she lived in, instead of trying to adjust to the rapidly changing world in front of her. When she was a young girl, she was beaten for being slow in learning how to knot pom-pom flowers, as said in page 31. So this, to her, is normal because it's all that she knows. This historical condition plays a large role in why girls were treated badly. A speech given in China about women said that mothers' only role in a household should be to make sure that their children are successful. This speech ignored the role of men in the household and told women to put household chores over their own career and education. It was very important for women to follow the orders of men in their lives, whether it be their fathers, husbands, or sons. Boys were important in the family structure because he would stay and take care of the parents once they were old, but girls had to move to the house of their husband, which means that she would not be able to take care of her parents. Women usually had to have many children in their lifetime because she had to have a boy so the man or the husband would be content. This meant that parents were disappointed and upset at the birth of a girl, which led to her being given away to somebody as a slave, or she would be used in the same family as a slave. Each woman in this novel had a different experience. Liang, one of the main characters, is often called Mo Young, which means useless, because she is the girl in the family. Even though she is opposed to the rules of old China, she still surrenders to them without noticing. She wants a girl baby to be her slave, like said on page 7, but she doesn't want to be treated like one either. She slowly starts to believe the girls are slave stereotype and finally snaps out of it when she meets Wang Suk, who accepts her for who she is. Stepmother, who is Liang's mother, is seen as the helper who is there to serve others. She isn't seen like this throughout the whole book, but just at the beginning where her past is being explained. She was originally fed and taught house duties, and then she was put on a boat to Canada. This was done to keep father appropriate wifely company, so he would not be lonely and had somebody to fill in the domestic house needs. Popo is a type of housewife, but it is understandable because she is older and does not speak much English. Men are portrayed to be heroes for the most part, and the breadwinners. Sons are called worthy sons, and they are to be given education and have marriages arranged. The males that do not conform to their normal, let's say, society at the time are seen as weak. Zheng is known as a dumb brother because he is adopted and does not know the rules of his family. His Popo calls him a stupid boy because he is afraid to go outside in the dark. I think that this fits into the stereotype that men need to be strong and being weak is looked down upon. Zheng's brother, Kiam, thinks that he is too weak and wants to show him how to be strong. Kiam was always told by his third uncle that as first son he had to behave more like a man than a boy, like said on page 107. In my opinion, this type of pressure from those around him made him have the perspective that his siblings must be strong and then force that onto Zheng. Finally, I think that this book is very important when learning about Chinese culture and how it relates to the sexist upbringings of most girls throughout the 1920s and even now. I found that I was constantly upset at Popo and how she acted towards Liang, But then I realized that it was a good sign. I was upset because the world doesn't work like that anymore, and girls are treated fairly in most parts of the world. I have loved this book and all that it has taught me about the women throughout history. I'm excited to read more of Wason Choi's books in the next couple months.